Welcome to the Armchair Fantasy Football Podcast. Here are your hosts, DJ Marcotte, Jake Cookson, and John Sorois. Enjoy the show.
The NFL has been doing some cutting and strutting. A lot of cuts this week, guys. Some surprising, some not surprising. The most unsurprising being LaShawn McCoy, since I called that a while ago in our hot take episode. Thank you guys for hold the applause. I appreciate your adoration and adulation. And you,
it's almost as much credit as I got from Mahomes last year.
You can contain your excitement for me being right yet again, Jake. I know you especially are pleased with this. But we want to welcome everybody back to the Working Class Podcast with Jake and John and myself, DJ. We are the Blue Collar Ballers. You can check us out on Facebook at Armchair Fantasy Football, on Twitter at Armchair FF Pod. John is on Twitter at John2977. Jake is at Jake Cookson, and I am at Armchair Kingpin. And I don't even have to read that off anymore. I just know it by heart. And you can also email us at armchairfb@gmail.com. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, and our videos now on YouTube. We're everywhere now, guys. We're worldwide. So, John, there's a lot of news.
Yes and no.
There's a lot of cutting and strutting. You want to get down to it?
Speaking of cuts,
Jake, welcome back. How are you?
I thought Jake.
We're going to welcome Jake
back.
Well, no, I'm doing it.
He's back.
I thought Jake got cut,
No,
but he's back. He made the roster.
I was on the pup. I was just on the pup list.
He actually got traded, but the other team quickly realized that was a bad move, so they traded him back.
So before we jump into some of the cuts,
For a much lower value, by the way. We got a 10th round pick.
Zeke Elliott for the Cowboys. Talks are intensifying. Deal looks like it's going to be closer to sooner than later. I'm guessing, I think after this holiday weekend, probably by Tuesday, I think this will all be hashed out.
I'm sorry, did you say Galladay weekend?
Galladay. Oh, you missed that episode.
Oh,
that was a good episode. That was a great episode, actually. No, it's our new song.
It was
Galladay.
incredible. I really enjoyed it.
It was actually. Did you listen to that episode?
Sure.
Yeah, you clearly did not.
Well, that's okay.
There's a reason I wasn't here. I'm busy if I'm not here.
You're
So
not busy. So Jake likes to complain and whine about
There's
how
no
he
whining.
has one kid.
No, it's
and
not whining.
meanwhile,
But
John and
sometimes
I
she
have
needs someone
3.
to watch her. She can't
I actually
self-sustain herself.
I actually with the stepkids, I have 6. So, but
6, and then our friend
would you have-
Ryan,
Yeah.
he has 4, 3 of them being triplets, and you're whining and crying
Ryan Heller whines more
about
than
your
I
one
do.
child.
Jake's losing the one kid like in the room. I don't know where you went.
Yeah, exactly. He's
hiding
squirmy,
on me.
man. She is. She wiggles right around already.
We're losing.
She
it.
crawling yet?
Almost.
Yeah, that's where it's gonna get dangerous once they start crawling.
Yeah.
So Zeke Elliott, it looks like talks will be, like I said, done sooner than later. And if this deal goes through, Zeke Elliott will be the highest paid running back in the league.
Well, as he should be. You know who else should get paid a lot of money?
Me?
Guess who, Jake?
I have no idea.
Kenny Galladay.
No, that's what your segue is Kenny Galladay.
We should pay Kenny Galladay.
No,
a
you
lot
gotta
more
listen to
money.
the chorus.
Yeah,
Come on,
you
we did
gotta
this
listen.
last
I
week.
know the song. I know this one.
Sing it for me, John.
Hold on, you gotta wait for the chorus. It goes perfect.
It might take a while.
This is
Galladay,
Oh, there we go.
Galladay,
We gotta celebrate Galladay.
Galladay.
okay. That's enough of that.
Congratulations, Kenny Galladay, on your new song and nickname, which is actually your
Just
real
his
name,
real
but we just sing it during Madonna's holiday.
No, the Galladay, I love the reference now. Just like last week, DJ came up with a great nickname for
Oh, the Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
He's coming to get you.
Yep.
Who's the
All
bigger
right.
man?
Dari.
Dari. How do you
Bunga.
say it, Andrew? You supposedly know how to pronounce his name.
It's
Agunbowale.
Ungumbowale.
All right.
Dare
Isn't
Ungumbowale.
that a rapper?
no.
Okay.
Carry.
I like the Boogeyman. Boogeyman's a perfect nickname for
It
him.
is, because
So.
nobody knows how to say his real name, and it's like Ooga Booga.
Well,
so
trying
we
to
just
spell
go
it's
with
just
Boogeyman.
scary. So
Unga Booga.
So do we have news about the Boogeyman? How did
No.
we get here?
No, we just got there for no reason.
Zeke might sign by week 1. That's the news. He
Sweet.
might sign.
So in other news,
No, hold on. No. pump the brakes here. I am very excited about this. Allegedly, it was this weekend, as early as this weekend, that it could happen. Well, they might want to get on top of things because the season starts Thursday, and for the Cowboys, it starts Sunday. But the clock is officially ticking. And like I said before, guys, if you did not get your hands on one Tony Pollard, if you're an Ezekiel Elliott owner, shame, shame, shame. Shame on you. So we'll see how it shakes out, though. I'd love to see Zeke out there, but I have my insurance policy. I don't know about all you other Zeke owners.
I'd rather have Zeke signed till week 2 because I have to play DGA week 1, and he has Zeke Elliott, so I'd rather Zeke sign week 2. But I know it's not going to happen.
I don't think if Zeke signs by week 1, it's going to happen very quickly. That's my take.
He's in shape. He's been training with Marshall Faulk.
I mean, I don't think they
what's
sign
going?
him quickly. Like, if it doesn't happen before the season, this might linger, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It could.
This is
out
like
and
the
said
last
week
push.
4.
If they don't make a deal this block of time, they're trying hard right now. If it doesn't happen,
I think, I don't know.
where do we end up at?
All indications that right now is that it will probably happen, but I still stand by my prediction. Who, guys, as we know, my predictions usually come true.
Nostradamus over here.
Don't they, Jake? I normally I'll stand by the prediction of week 4 at best, but it's looking like I could actually be wrong, which I know that
It's shocking
and amazing.
I don't know what to do.
But I would welcome that. I would be very happy if Ezekiel Elliott is out there week 1 to take care of John Sorois in his ragtag squad, which, by the way, was ranked 4th in our power
Yes,
rankings.
and I predicted the second highest points for the league that week, so...
Somebody was ranked 7th, but
Figure that out. Whose team would you rather have?
mine.
Mine or John's?
Mine.
Because he would rather.
Would you rather?
Would you rather? Oh, we'll get into that.
So, second bit of news, Josh Gordon is available to play week 1, so there is nothing pending, no suspensions, no nothing.
You're
He's
the-
going to play
you're
week
the-
1.
Were you at
he
the
played in the
dentist or
preseason?
something? Do you have Novocaine?
He ate a little peanut butter.
So,
What was that again? I wasn't paying
Josh
attention.
Gordon is available to play week 1.
Oh, okay.
What do you
That's
do?
good.
It's for people who have Gordon owners, obviously have them. So,
And you'll know when he arrives at the stadium because his car will be the one with smoke billowing out of the side.
That's fine. Just keep catching
It's
touchdowns.
fine until he's not playing by week 5.
I think
We got a little would you rather action with Josh Gordon later.
I
on.
have bought into Josh Gordon plenty of times in the past. I'm not bought this year. Did anybody see the video of him?
No.
He was
wasn't he in like a Dr. Dre video or something?
no,
Like,
no.
Okay.
I'm talking on a serious video of the game this week. So this is what concerns me about Josh Gordon. If you saw any video on him, he actually on the sideline is putting chewing tobacco into his mouth.
That's great.
Whatever.
No, the concerning part of that means he still has some type of addiction, which means
he's allowed to be addicted to
He's
tobacco.
addicted to being a loser.
So what scares me about that
That's
is
his major addiction.
it all starts if it's the chewing tobacco. Who knows what
Is
it's going
this
to lead
is
to
this a
during the
gate? Is
season?
chewing tobacco a gateway drug? John?
No, I'm not saying. My point is he did marijuana, he did alcohol.
Maybe it's
so,
chewing marijuana. Maybe he got it from Gronk.
But
Again,
here's the
whatever.
thing: if he can't kick a habit, any type of habit, what makes you think he's not going to regress back?
As long as he makes catching footballs a habit, I'm happy.
Which he won't.
He might.
Nah, probably not.
Next.
Okay, next news: Carlos Hyde traded to Houston. Whoop-de-doo.
Well, I mean,
Who else
It's
is
insurance
there?
for Houston. I'm still.
so I got a comp for
Do you
you
think
guys.
Duke is going to get all the carries?
I have a comp for you guys, and I will tell you exactly what Carlos Hyde will be in Houston. He will be Alfred Blue. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I go back to they went and got Duke Johnson even before Lamar Miller got hurt. So they wanted Duke Johnson. They went out of their way to get him. They have a plan for him. I think he could be the lead back there, or at least an Alvin Kamara type of player, not as far as stat line necessarily, but he'll catch, he'll run, and I think Hyde will be mixed in. Could vulture some touchdowns from him, but I still think Duke Johnson's the guy there, and I would love to get my hands on him in as many leagues as possible.
I agree with you. I agree
I
with
see
you. On
Hyde
that.
as being
Carlos
Alfred Blue.
Hyde will be the change of pace back at most. That's it. I think.
Jake, what's your take on that?
I think Carlos Hyde around the goal line is going to vulture. Like,
I think he definitely could. Yeah,
he's a better goal line back. He's a slow plotter, but that's what you want on the goal line.
But think about this,
So
guys.
I think that takes
You also
Duke's
have Deshaun
value.
at the goal line.
I think Houston's going to go away from that this year. You can't risk Deshaun going all in like they have. They can't risk Deshaun getting hurt. Like, they really can't. So how many goal line sneaks are going to happen? I think a lot less. How many planned bootlegs are going to happen? Probably a lot less. I think you have to keep him upright.
I think Johnson's the more fantasy relevant by far.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Funny story though, these guys played together just last year in Cleveland, and neither of them kind of panned out. But I don't think Johnson has ever really gotten the chance. I think Hyde has, and like Jake said, he's a slow plodding guy, so he's not as versatile as Duke. And I think that's going to be a fast-paced offense, and I think Duke Johnson's really going to thrive. So we'll see how it shakes out, though.
Okay, so other news. Time to buy the burrito. Jerk McKinnon to season-ending IR.
Why is Tevin Coleman just like not part of that conversation?
I will tell you, if you must know, Tevin Coleman is not capable of being a workhorse back. Tevin Coleman has never been a workhorse back, and Tevin Coleman isn't as good of a player as Matt Breida. That's why.
And
Matt Breida's a better player.
Matt Breida was also clocked last year as one of the fastest players in the league.
Right, but don't you just see a committee happening there?
I think honestly I see a 60-40 split in favor of Breida. I don't think that they're just going to phase out Tevin Coleman.
Right.
I completely agree with you there, but I think Breida will be the better fantasy option. I
Right.
definitely firmly believe
I
that.
think the only thing that's going to hurt Breida is himself. It's going to be if he can stay away from injuries, he can definitely be the lead back there or have most of the timeshare.
And that's the only concern with him. And that's the only concern with Sammy Watkins, and we've been waiting 5 years plus for that. But that is really the only concern with Breida, other than, yes, Tevin Coleman will definitely take some of the workload from him. But again, I think it's like a Duke Johnson, Carlos Hyde scenario. I just don't think. I don't think he's
Tevin
gonna.
Coleman's way more of a receiving back than.
He is,
He's
but
been a
I just
runner.
don't think he's going to. I don't think the leash is going to be. I don't-
Tevin Coleman was pretty good last year. He as much as it was a down year, he averaged over 4 yards a carry. Like, he was a efficient runner in Atlanta.
I just don't think he's going to hinder Breida from breaking out. I really don't.
I just don't see them both. I probably don't see either finishing in the top 20,
And
to be honest.
Like, look at Tevin Coleman last year. I mean, his yards per carry were good, but in terms of, he had the opportunity to really make a huge payday for himself with Freeman out all year, and he didn't really separate himself from even Ito Smith. I mean, again, his yards per carry were good, but what did he get you from a fantasy standpoint?
that was Atlanta's fault to a
And
major
that was a good
degree, I
offense
think.
too, though. Like,
Not running.
No, but
wise,
some of
though.
that you can put
with
all,
him as the lead back. So I mean,
Yeah, but some of those games they were down
Yeah.
because of their defense. They lost so many defensive starters last year. They were already down 14-0. You're not going to run the ball 14-0, 21-0.
I think they averaged the least amount of carries a game last
Yes,
year.
because they were down so much because of no defense
Yeah.
last year.
Well, they
Yeah,
lost
so-
3 Pro Bowl defenders off
Yeah.
that team. So
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Yeah,
Deja
I know.
vu. Well, in other news, we'll jump over that one. Bills released LaShawn McCoy, saving $6.4 million.
Oh, you don't say, John.
And Devin Singletary is expected to be the lead back. Expected.
Oh, you don't say.
But I still think he's not going to be the clear-cut starter. I personally think Gore's going to be involved at least for the first 3 or 4 games.
So I agree. Temper your expectations, at least out of the gate for Devin Singletary.
Yep.
I think down the stretch you'll see. I guess if you're expecting LaShawn McCoy in his prime out of Devin Singletary this year, I think you're being a little foolish. I think Gore is definitely going to factor in, and then let's not forget TJ Yeldon is probably going to get a lot of third down opportunities as well. I don't know what you think about that, Jake, but I think it's definitely going to be a timeshare. I do think Singletary will get the majority of that, though.
I also think Buffalo's going to be really bad. So I think that
I don't know, man. They've definitely revamped their offensive line.
they're going to finish ahead of Miami because they're going to finish as the worst team in the NFL. But I don't know. I think the Jets are better. New England's obviously better. So I just don't think Buffalo's offense is going to be very.
I'm not so sure the Jets are
Crazy.
better, but who knows? I think, like, I look at Josh Allen as more likely to win games for his team than Sam Darnold, just because of the style of,
Yeah, I
of
think that's
quarterback
just-
that he is.
differing of opinions there. That's just
I think it's exciting. I'm excited by this offense. I can't wait to see Devin Singletary and Josh Allen and what they can do with this offense. But definitely good for Singletary. I think he'll be the main benefactor or
I
beneficiary.
think it'll just take some
of
time.
this.
I think it's down the road.
Yeah.
I don't think right away.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
Yeah.
Gore's going to play a role.
He's going to get carries.
Yeah, he'll vulture touchdowns. I mean, that's what Frank the
I
Tank
don't,
does.
I don't think he'll just vulture touchdowns. I think he'll vulture carries. I think he'll.
But
I wouldn't be surprised if the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season he sees a 70-30 split in carries to Singletary. Honestly,
let's not forget he's 36, 37
yeah,
years
the long
old.
game it's Singletary,
Right.
But out of the gate,
Definitely.
Okay, other news. Jaron Brown cut by the Seahawks, which I think comes kind of shocking with their depth at wide receiver.
Jaron Brown got cut, and I think that might indicate that David Moore or DK Metcalf are healthier than
those guys were already 1, 2, and 3.
Met-
Lockett, Metcalf, and Moore.
Metcalf was projected to probably be back week 1. Moore, I think, is still week 3 with his shoulder right around there. Could be sooner. They didn't put him on IR.
Who was drafting Brown really?
I don't know. Some knucklehead had him rostered in our keeper league,
Not me.
and then cut him for Demarius Thomas.
Still not me.
No, it was our friend Alex
Alex.
Kirol who.
So-
he-
that was
I
hype.
I had Moore till he hurt his shoulder.
So Jaron Brown
I still look at
wasn't
Moore.
fantasy relevant.
No, but I do look at Moore as a sleeper. I still do, even with him missing a few weeks. He's not on IR, so that's encouraging. Not to get off on that tangent, but I think Moore could be a sneaky good guy to add in week 2 and see how it works out over there. I know Jake is not a big Tyler Lockett guy. I like him, but I don't see him getting 100+ targets. It's not really the type of player that he is. Maybe out of the slot, I don't know, but look at David Moore. I'm telling you, that guy could be relevant.
They also said they're going to pass the backs more, so it could be a huge uptick for not just Carson, but also Penny. They could be involved in pass game.
I still firmly believe, and I stand by this, that both Penny and Carson will be fantasy relevant.
I do want to say I think you said Penny was going to be the better fantasy option.
I definitely think he could be. Definitely. Chris Carson will get hurt. It'll eventually happen.
We'll see.
Okay, we'll leave that one. Chargers allowing Melvin Gordon to seek trade. They are standing by their offer, and they are not budging.
They've also said
either
they're
he
done
accepts it-
negotiating.
That's what I'm saying. They're done negotiating. He takes the contract that he finishes out, or he looks elsewhere.
I also said he would not play for the Chargers this year, so I'm looking pretty good for that. I really don't want him to go to Baltimore as a team I've seen floated out there. I'm a Justice Hill truther, so that would stink. Tampa, though, just makes so much sense.
No, because then my boogeyman can't get his carries.
Well, I don't care about the boogeyman, frankly. I think that was a leap of faith pickup right there, which I appreciate. You got to go.
No, he's the
Take
clear
some
cut.
chances.
He is the clear cut passing down protection back, and he can also catch. I think he has a chance in that offense.
Yeah, he's good in pass pro. I
Yep.
mean, he's got to be better than Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones. I mean, who isn't?
Neither one of them can block. I know that.
But we're talking about the boogeyman being their best running back. That tells me Tampa's in dire need of a guy like
Yeah.
Gordon.
A team that was floated out around McCoy was Philadelphia too. So I'm wondering if they're going to be in the Melvin Gordon sweepstakes or not. I think that would be an interesting
It could.
fit.
I mean, I saw Philly. I think Philly was more tied to McCoy because of his past. You know what I'm saying? His previous past
Yeah,
years
but-
with him.
And I look
That
at
would be an interesting combo.
I just don't get why Philly or Baltimore, who have guys like Miles Sanders, like Justice Hill, I just don't get it. Why would you? I mean, you could spend that money because they're going to have to pay him if they trade for him. You could spend that money elsewhere. I don't see those as good fits. Could happen.
Well, those guys are on rookie contracts and they're super cheap, so it's not like those guys are running up the salary cap. And by the time
No.
Melvin Gordon expires, you might be looking at re-signing those guys to real deals. So.
But is this going to cost you from getting a left tackle or a pass rusher? You know what I mean? Those really important positions.
Maybe.
Or paying Carson. Has Carson Wentz been paid yet? Help me out, guys.
I want to say
think
yeah.
he
I think he
actually.
has. I want to say it's like.
But I think you guys get my greater
3 million or
My
something like that.
greater point, why would you spend money on Melvin Gordon when you have a Miles Sanders who's got a ton of tread on his tire and you could use that money for arguably more important positions? Melvin Gordon is not Zeke Elliott. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's not
He hasn't even played a full season.
right.
doesn't-
He's not Todd Gurley. He's not
He scores
that level.
touchdowns at a higher rate than some of those guys, though.
But he's injury prone.
He is, but I'm just saying, like,
Oh, I think Melvin Gordon's great.
But I think
just-
you would agree he's not in that tier of players.
He's like
when he plays, he is. When he plays, he's just as good as any running back. But he doesn't play all the time.
I disagree with that, but we're all entitled to our own opinions. I don't think he's at the level of a Zeke or a Gurley.
Well, the problem is you haven't had
Or
a
a
16-game sample. That's the problem.
And
Not Barkley. I'd say
And
Barkley's probably different.
and you
But
probably never will. Honestly, at this rate, it's
More likely than
documented
not,
history.
yeah.
But I mean, is there any other teams you guys could see him going to, or would you would be excited as a fantasy player to see him go
I mean,
to?
you could. It depends who wants to pick up the contract. Who's got the salary cap space?
I mean,
too.
Houston seems like they
Houston's
would
another
make sense,
potential landing one.
but they don't seem interested. They're happy with what they
I don't.
have.
I don't want Houston because I like DeAndre Hopkins being a big red zone threat, and I don't want them to think they can run the ball in. So
Well,
don't do that.
And in all seriousness, they traded for Hyde after I believe the news came out
Right.
that LA was interested in moving.
And you got to
Gordon.
think the NFL teams had more insight into the Melvin Gordon deal than fans did. Like
Yeah.
those GMs had to have picked up the phone and said, "What's it going to take to get Melvin Gordon?" Okay, we don't want to do that. I'm going to sign Hyde
Right.
or trade for Hyde.
But I'm really trying to think of teams that he would be like a perfect fit for.
It's Tampa Bay. That really is
Tampa
the
really
fit.
is it's almost like they're tailor made for him. And
The only other place that could see an upgrade, but they spent a high pick, is Oakland. Would be interesting, I think.
yeah, I think they're happy with Jacobs.
They have Jacobs.
And I think that was indicative of them cutting, or I think them cutting Martin was indicative of the fact that they do like Jacobs a lot. But yeah, no, there's.
I think it's
definitely-
got to be a team that's in contention to put them over the top. Why would you spend all that money if you don't feel like he's the guy to get you over the hump?
right.
Oh, remember, it's going to be a trade. So
And the problem is the Chargers are the best team, in my opinion. They're the team who need him the most.
I really hope it's not San Francisco.
but also,
I would laugh.
but start looking at teams not so much from an offensive standpoint, but the Chargers with losing Derwin James for the good part of the year, they're going to be looking for a safety.
yeah, I mean, who knows?
They're not going to. The problem is they trade Melvin Gordon. They are not getting equal value. That's not happening.
No, I get that, but
They're not even getting a. They're probably not even
But
getting a.
you could see
and,
it.
and frankly, they're not getting equal value at replacement either.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
let's
But I
face
mean,
it.
they're probably not getting a starting level safety in return. They're probably not. It's probably going to be pick compensation and prospects.
And not only that, but Eckler and Jackson combined aren't worth Gordon. So it's definitely a downgrade. And like you mentioned in earlier episodes, Jake, that could be the difference in them being a Super Bowl contender.
The Chargers are blowing my mind. How they're not just paying the money with Phillip Rivers at the end of the line. Like, this is
Yeah.
your last go.
Yeah. Who else are you going to pay?
Yeah, who cares? Phillip Rivers is going to retire, and all his money's coming off the books anyways. And you're going to draft a rookie quarterback and develop him, and you're not going to pay him anything. So what's the big deal about
Right.
paying the running back? That's my opinion. I'm not a GM, though. Clearly.
Interesting stuff.
So in other news, well, that was the fastest to burst. Just got news that just dropped down from
Oh, did Zeke sign?
Devin Singletary news.
Oh, okay. Tell us more.
This is breaking news.
This just came out. Won't consistently be a featured back, at least not early in the season. The Bills will take a committee approach. We just said that anyway.
Who just called it? Who literally
So,
just said
we
Frank
said-
Gore
I
will see
think,
most of the
pretty sure
carries?
all three of us.
Yeah, we did. We all did take committee. So I'm just saying.
Duh.
I just
Ernie,
wanted to put that out
if
there.
you're listening,
Duh.
I'm over here.
You better
You can
trade him while he
to
still
me.
has value,
Yeah, 'cause
Ernie.
he's not going to have value for long.
Because pretty soon you are going to get Kenny Stills for him. That's it.
He will have value, but Ernie, if you want to trade him, Frank Gore's the man over there, right, Jake?
Who are you trying to trade him for?
I don't know.
Devin
I haven't really
Singletary?
thought about it yet. Probably picks.
You haven't thought about it yet. That's the biggest lie you've ever told me. that's a lie.
Trade secrets.
I haven't
man.
thought about
I
the-
can't give up trade secrets.
I would like to acquire Devin
Speaking of
Singletary. I
trade
just
se-
haven't thought about
I
it.
did tell you what I offered him for Lamar Jackson. I offered him Mitch Trubisky and a second-round pick, which he has yet to accept, which is absolute insanity.
You sure he just didn't have a reception? He's in the outfield playing softball.
He might be. I don't know. All right, let's keep it going.
Okay, so this
gonna be
was
the longest
this
episode
was
ever.
said before, but AJ Green is to avoid IR. He will not. He's not going to be put on IR. So still looking like a week 3
I got
return.
an AJ Green. Would you rather come?
Know
up.
who should
Okay.
who should be excited about that? Tyler Boyd owners, because his value
Andrew?
is improved
Should Andrew
with
be excited?
AJ Green. He should be.
It
Tyler
is.
Boyd's a better
By
player with
by
AJ Green.
By a couple points, 3 points a game.
That's
but
it.
yes,
3 points is a lot.
Yeah, definitely over
So-
over
Okay.
16. that
So we'll
is.
move on for that. N'Keal Harry is a candidate for IR.
Yeah.
That's sad. He looked good in that preseason game before he got banged up. He did look good.
Your team is awful right
They're
now.
not awful. They just can't
just
stay
so
healthy.
bad.
I'm getting hit with
I
the
mean, you
injury
are-
bug, and it hasn't
they're
even
not-
started.
I guess they're not awful. It is the 7th ranked team in our league, so it's not that bad.
No. That you're looking tag for N'Keal Harry, aren't you? Or do I have him in keeper?
No, you have him the keeper. Yes.
Man,
I offered
my
you
wide
a 10.
receivers are deep.
I offered. He's not.
He's like my sixth
Deep
wide
on the
receiver.
IR.
He's like my sixth wide receiver. Who
You
cares?
realize people are listening to you in hopes of getting advice from you on how to successfully
Hey, if you have N'Keal Harry as your
successfully run
sixth
their
receiver and you
fantasy
have
team.
like
Hey,
10 roster
hey,
spots,
fans,
keep him.
listeners, who are you gonna listen to? The 7th ranked team or the 4th ranked team
Nothing's
or the
even,
1st ranked team?
Nothing's even happened. Nothing. We haven't even played a game.
Come on now.
Look at the condition of your team already.
I got
Yeah,
more-
sorry, my
hey,
sixth
hey,
receiver's
I'm
hurt.
messing with you,
Oh,
Jake.
boy.
I'm
Just
messing with you.
true. I got more rings than K Jewelers over here, pal. So just listen to me and you'll be
He
fine.
did not.
Kid.
He did. I think Phil won. Correct. Phil won.
Phil won the luck championship.
Phil
I
won the
real
championship
one.
that most leagues play for.
Not in our league.
The playoffs. Like that's where it matters.
Okay, let's move on. We have a lot to cover in this episode.
the best team. wins.
So Torrey Smith released from the Panthers. You know what that means, right?
Yeah. Torrey Smith wasn't
Torrey
relevant.
Smith
even know
was
who
released
that
from the
is, Sean.
Panthers.
He didn't have a role anyways. It's not.
No,
Oh, yeah, Torrey Smith, the guy that was good with Baltimore like 10 years ago.
actually, like the year before last year. But here's the thing: Torrey Smith was brought in from the Panthers.
Chris Hogan's there, isn't he?
Chris who?
Chris
Because
Hogan.
he missed.
Why are we talking about?
How many
I don't know.
missed-
Why are we
No,
talking about
here-
Torrey
here's the
Wilson?
reason behind Torrey Smith. Obviously, them releasing him. They're moving on. They are going with Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore as the number one
That
and number 2.
Riveting news right there, John. We did not see that coming.
No, we saw it coming, but I'm just letting people know the writing is on the wall that Curtis Samuel and Moore are locked in for number 1 and number 2, unless Olsen comes back and has a career year.
And this just
Which
invokes
would be fine.
the sky is blue as well.
So,
What else we got?
Oh, yep.
should we take a quick break?
I don't know.
quick
It's not really a
pause.
break. We have to stop calling it a break because people that
Just
listen
a
to the
quick pause.
podcast.
Quick pause then.
Pause.
It's not even really a pause.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready to get? Are we done with the news, John?
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to get into some Would You Rather?
Well, let's go.
All right, so we're doing Would You Rather again because people had fun with it. They thought it was kind of fun and cool. And to be honest with you, we're coming up on the fantasy football season. It is starting very soon. We're very excited. So our next episode is going to be predictions for week 1. And then we're going to get into our weekly routine throughout the season after that. So this is kind of our last episode that we can have a little bit of fun with. We're going with Would You Rather. And Jake, don't cheat. You're cheating. I can see you cheating.
You're gonna read them out loud. What
This
does
is
it mean if I
unacceptable.
read
Your
it?
cheating is unacceptable. Your cheating is at a Pat McCarthy level right now.
Whatever it takes.
All right. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather, given the news that we just heard, Devin Singletary or Duke Johnson?
Duke Johnson.
Agreed. Duke Johnson.
All right. Why?
He just has more of a clear role, I think.
I think Duke Johnson, based on the fact that he has never been given the prime spot like this in an offense like this. Like I said last week, he's underestimated for his size. Everybody thinks when you say the name Duke Johnson, you're thinking somebody 5'6", 160 pounds.
He's like 210.
He's like 5'9", 210. Like I said before, in Miami, he averaged about 19 carries a game. I think he's going to shock people this year.
I think he-
Singletary is a rookie. I'm not saying that's a reason he's going to fail, but there's a reason they have Frank the Tank still there. There's a reason they still have Yeldon there. They're going to ease him into the role.
Right.
Whereas Johnson, they want to let him just go beast mode right off the bat.
There's no other receiving back in Texas, anyways. Like,
Hyde's not a good receiving back.
the Texans are gonna give him
in
the
state or
receptions.
on the Houston Texans?
Probably in the state because Zeke's not signed. So
Not yet. Well, Tony Pollard can catch passes, but
not
no,
like Duke Johnson.
I agree with you guys. I'd probably go with Duke on this, although I would love to have shares of both these guys. And
Dynasty, give me Devin Singletary.
yeah, no, definitely, and maybe by the end of the season, maybe in the playoffs, give me Devin Singletary. But as it stands right now, it's probably Duke Johnson, especially given the news right off the presses. By the way, John,
Hot
nice
off the
job
press.
with
Yep,
that.
thank you.
All right, next one. We got a little stack action here. Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper, or Derek Carr and Antonio Brown.
Oh man, I wouldn't own either stack.
Oh, come on, dude. I'm trying to get Brown in our listener league.
I'll take Dak and Amari Cooper just because I think Dak is way better than Derek Carr. So that's really the only reason.
Let's not forget, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, but let's not forget that Derek Carr was an MVP candidate not long ago. Right, John?
He was. This is actually kind of hard for me because I see makes me lean Prescott and Cooper based on the fact if Zeke signs, because it's going to take it's going to open up that passing game a lot more. If it's based on the decision now, no contract sign, I have to lean Brown and Carr. Carr was good, and now he's never had this type of high caliber receiver. I mean, Cooper is good, but Brown is just a whole different level.
He's the best.
Yep. So it's I find that right now I'm based on Prescott and Cooper based on Zeke plan.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me, but again, like you said, John, it kind of hinges on his Elliott out there, and I think we have to assume yes he is.
Yep.
So I would go Prescott and Cooper as well, but I will tell you guys, watch out for Derek Carr this year. I think you're going to be surprised by him, and I think Antonio Brown's going to be a big part of it.
I still like I think I'm so tempted to pick him up. Hunter Renfrow looked really good in the preseason, and he could be the guy. I know everybody's picking Tyrell Williams to get a huge uptick there, but it could be Renfrow. He looked really good.
Yep, he's an excellent player, and he's one of those guys that's always where he needs to be, and he was that way in college. Small guy, but he definitely could be a factor there too. So next,
Who'd you pick?
I took Dak.
we all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I took Dak.
It was a hat trick. So next one is Melvin Gordon or Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke Elliott.
Zeke is way closer to playing. Yeah, you have
think
to
so?
take Zeke.
Yeah, I think Zeke.
Way close.
Zeke.
But we could see Gordon get traded tomorrow, get a deal, and Zeke still not have cut a deal with Dallas. That's a real possibility.
The problem is the team trading for Gordon has a lot of leverage. He has to play by week 10 to have this count as a season towards free agency. The LA Chargers aren't negotiating with him publicly anymore.
Correct.
So what leverage does the Chargers or Gordon have over a team acquiring him? Pretty much nothing at this point. Because you can just wait it out till week 10 and say, hey, he has to play now. We'll give you pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I just see
think-
Zeke being closer. I think Dallas knows they need Zeke. Apparently more than the Chargers think they need Melvin Gordon.
Keep in mind, though, when teams do trade for players like this, their intention is to give them a deal right away.
No,
And
if he
it's
gets
probably almost
traded, it'll happen
predetermined.
immediately, yeah.
I go with Zeke because I'd take Zeke against the field. Man, he's just my guy. So, but yeah.
I just think it's not just Zeke based on the fact of Zeke is clearly the better option, hands down. He has the better offensive line. He's just a clear cut. Explosive runner is not even the word for it. He just ground and pounds. He can do it all.
Okay, well then let's make it a little more interesting.
no.
Let's say Melvin Gordon was traded to Tampa Bay right now. Would you take Melvin Gordon in Tampa Bay right now, and you know he's probably playing, versus Zeke in the contract, maybe he signs?
I mean, if it's a
You know
if
Melvin
it's a
Gordon's
sure,
playing
if it's
week
a sure
one.
thing versus a non.
I would still take Zeke Elliott.
See, I knew somebody would still take Zeke.
I would still take Zeke Elliott, and I'll tell you why.
So let me just put this I'm going to put this into two compartments. I would take Zeke because it's me and I love him. Okay?
Don't say it like that.
I love him. I love you, Zeke.
You can't quiet down and say that.
I love you.
Him and that little Wookiee.
Look at me. Look at me. Okay, anyway, if it wasn't me, I would probably take Gordon if it was a sure thing. Anytime you're looking at a sure thing versus a non-sure thing and you're looking at RB1 level guys, you probably go with the sure thing.
Yep.
Love you, Zeke.
Spiced it up.
It's the I love you Zeke episode.
I don't like it.
Anyway, you don't have to. Okay, next. Would you rather Tyler Lockett? This is kind of unfair because Jake probably ought to immediately turn
Option
off
2.
right now.
It doesn't matter. Tyler
Yeah.
Lockett or option 2. I'll
Or,
take option 2.
Calvin Ridley.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like either option anymore.
John, have you soured on Calvin Ridley or are you still high on him?
No, I still think he's going to do pretty well. But based on those two, I personally would rather have Lockett.
I'm going Lockett too, and the reason is Lockett's
Oh,
the number.
jeez.
Lockett's the number 1.
Whoa.
And Calvin Ridley's
Easy.
the number 2.5.
Yeah.
So because Mohamed Sanu is also like the number 2.
I still think Ridley's
So-
going to be involved, but Sanu's just still there. He's still dampering Ridley's
Sanu.
value. Lockett, who does he have other than Metcalf?
That's what I mean.
That's it.
Lockett will be on the field. Mohamed Sanu has a huge snap count in Atlanta every year. Mohamed Sanu is going to be on the field a lot, and that's not good for
No,
Calvin Ridley.
Sanu's one, like we said in the previous episodes, he's always there. Like,
So-
he's a great bye week fill-in.
For that reason, I take Tyler Lockett.
I think that I would go Calvin Ridley simply because Atlanta's just going to throw a lot more than Seattle is.
Wow, did hell freeze over? I didn't even take Ridley.
No, I mean, I really do. They were top 3 in passing. They might even be number 1 in passing yards last year, but they were definitely top 3 Atlanta. In Seattle's just going to run the ball a lot, and they're not hiding in that fact. They are saying we are going to run our running backs into the ground, and we're going to be a running team. And their offensive coordinator has always just simply run the ball, that old school mentality. So I think that's what you're going to see this year. So based on that and touchdown upside, I would go Ridley. And if Julio Jones is out,
Oh, Ridley would have a huge
Ridley
day.
is wheels up, man.
I
So-
see Atlanta regressing on the passing though. Their defense will be better. They won't be last in rush attempts. Like
They had a star-studded defense last year. They just all got injured.
Right.
Yeah,
So I think
but
they'll
they all
be in
got
more
injured by
games.
like week 2.
Yeah,
Everybody
right.
went down.
Yeah, so I
Deion
agree with you
Jones.
there.
I think there'll be some passing regression in Atlanta.
So that's a close one, though.
Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy or Darwin Thompson? Well, both on the same team now. So I guess the question is, who's the quote-unquote handcuff for Damian Williams?
Yeah, I was about to say we're talking about which backup do you want
I think LaShawn McCoy.
for this season. Probably LaShawn McCoy.
I'm still going Darwin Thompson because I just see another Kareem Hunt scenario this year. Because when Kareem Hunt broke out, he was never supposed to be the starting back. You had who was it? Spencer Ware was there.
Yep.
And there was somebody else in that lineup
West.
too. Was it West? That's
Yes.
right, Charkandrick West. And Kareem Hunt was just the rookie that.
And both those guys, I think, got hurt, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
West was hurt during the preseason, so
But Damian Williams has not proven to be durable. He's never had a huge workload.
Nope,
and LaShawn
Miami-
McCoy's old, so
How big is Darwin
But
Thompson?
this
Just
is
fill
why-
me in
Darwin
on that.
Thompson's like two.
Is he a little
Darwin
guy?
Thompson.
Because
He's not huge.
He's not the Kareem Hunt build.
No, but I still think that I don't know. And guys, honestly, I'm going on my fantasy intuition here, which, as you know,
I think he's more of a change of pace guy. I don't know if he's a lead back guy because I think he's small, right?
Well, to be specific, he's 5'8", 200, so he's not huge, but he's not tiny. I also think one of the things that factors in here, too, is Kansas City's got the toughest schedule for running backs, second toughest schedule for running backs. So that could lead to McCoy and Williams struggling out of the gate. It's a stab in the dark, don't get me wrong, but I think Darwin Thompson, I really believe at the end of the season, he's going to be the lead back for that team this year. But I could see you guys going McCoy. He's probably the more sure thing.
Yeah.
All right. We're going same team again.
I
Oh,
only
you got
no,
something
I
to
got
add there, John.
I only think McCoy, based on one thing, not his talent. He is older. I think McCoy's not going to be so much used as a runner. I think it's basically the 4 or 5 years he played under Andy Reid. Andy Reid has a soft spot for him. He knows how to utilize him in certain plays. I think he will surprisingly. I'm not saying he's going off. I don't want you to think that.
So I was going to say that why don't you think Andre Ellington will be the guy in Tampa, where he's played for Arians, he knows the offense.
Well, I don't think Ellington and McCoy
Ellington could be
are
out of shape.
the
McCoy,
same
yeah, that's a different caliber.
comparison.
Ellington's out of shape. Like, where are you getting that?
No,
news?
I'm not saying out of shape. He got cut, so there's a reason why he got cut.
Oh,
so-
Ellington got cut.
Yeah, Ellington got cut.
Oh, my bad.
Boogie
See, that's
Man.
why you're the news
The
guy.
boogeyman got rid of him.
He's coming to get you.
Boogeyman actually passed him on the depth chart.
Okay.
So-
you and the boogeyman, you're probably going to be right about it.
Watch the boogeyman be a top 10
You're probably
back. I'd be
gonna be
dying
right.
laughing.
Hey, more power to you, man.
But
if he is.
but no, he played under Reed for a good 4 or 5 years, and I know
yeah.
Reed
No, he
loved.
did,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm not saying McCoy's the same player he was back in 2009 and all that,
I'd
but
hope not.
I just think they're going to use McCoy differently. I don't even see McCoy being like
Jake, I hope.
a lot of carries.
Because you'd be wrong.
I think they're gonna use McCoy. Like McCoy's at the stage of his career, like maybe a third down back, maybe a passing back. That's about it.
So are you? I'm confused. So
I think
He
McCoy's.
picks McCoy.
I picked McCoy based on the
Okay.
fact that
McCoy.
you picked Darwin Thompson.
Yes, I'm going with
Next.
Darwin.
Next.
I got the little fish on my car with the Darwin there. That's what it's for, right? Darwin Thompson.
Next.
Okay, sorry.
Carry on.
Carry on
Johnson?
Johnson.
I shouldn't have.
The sad part that me and DJ did that at the same
Yes,
time too.
exactly. Who I was also right about, Jake, if you recall. So
You
anyway,
aren't
guys,
right about anything yet.
moving on to the next. Would you rather? Also, teammates. Would you rather Austin Eckler or Justin Jackson? Let's say, provided that Gordon is gone or not playing.
I'm going Justin Jackson. I think he gets the goal line carries. I think he sees more of the carries to Austin Eckler seeing the receptions.
Okay, what about you, John?
I agree with that. I think Jackson's going to be the one who carries the ball more. Eckler will see more of the passing, but I think the touchdowns are going to go to Justin Jackson unless Eckler breaks.
Can I cheat? Can I say Austin Eckler PPR, Justin Jackson standard?
No, it's not really cheating. It's the
I
truth.
think I want Justin Jackson in either format.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I think
Yeah,
he's-
I just I probably if you made me draw a line in the sand, I probably would say Justin Jackson because I just don't believe in Austin Eckler. I never have as a workhorse guy. Or
So the problem I see here in San Diego is them sliding into the Bears situation
they're in
where
LA
Eckler does all the receiving and Justin Jackson does all the rushing like the Bears had last year with Cohen and Howard. So
But and both of those guys produce. So I think if you're looking at these guys as they're going to be weak winners for me,
No.
they're not. So get that out of your
they're
head.
flex guys maybe though.
Yeah, they could be solid flex guys, and there's nothing wrong with that. Next one. Would you rather, two crappy running backs, in my opinion, on crappy teams, Derrick Henry
No,
what?
or Marlon Mack?
Marlon Mack.
Marlon Mack.
Quick, that's an easy one.
That, I don't know. I almost think it's
I
Derrick Henry.
actually don't think Jacoby Brissett
No.
is going to be that bad.
No.
I actually think he's trash.
Okay.
Oh,
Because
Okay,
all he's ever
this-
proven to be is trash.
but so the problem is
But
you're
this-
He's
taking
fantasy
But you're
poison.
taking the first season of Indy when he got traded, what, like 5 days before the
Okay.
season started? Maybe 8
Marlon
days?
Mack. I know doesn't catch a lot of balls, but he catches more than Derrick Henry.
But no,
Second.
You might want to look at that. Neither of them catch any passes. I didn't
Mack still caught more.
Mack didn't
I'm not
even-
saying it's a huge uptick, but he still caught more. But here's the clear reason why I'm picking Mack all day long. I do not trust Mariota. That offense will implode. If
I don't think the
Mariota
defense is
starts,
that good
then
either.
they're going to stack that box against Henry. Brissett can't throw fantastic, but he did make some okay throws. They're going to be able to run.
Know how many Brissett got sacked? These are just numbers
Who
that
says
I'm
Mariota's going to be the
jumping.
quarterback, though?
I'm pulling these numbers out
we're
of my
basing
head.
it on Mariota
So,
as the quarterback.
Brissett
No,
got
that's what I'm
sacked.
saying. Who says he's going to be? Sorry, Jake.
Brissett got sacked 52 times in his first season with Indy. Last year, Andrew Luck only got sacked 18 times.
But
a
Andrew
lie.
Luck's intelligent and good.
But the line was
He's a,
incredibly better
Yeah.
last year, and it's only going to be better this year.
so one had. You're right, John. Marlon,
Oh yeah!
okay, you ready for this? Marlon Mack had 17 receptions last year,
Boom,
and Derrick Henry had 15.
boom.
I told you it wasn't by much.
Yeah,
but
no, it's
A win's a win.
they're both irrelevant
But
in the
the-
passing
yeah,
game.
but they're both irrelevant in the pass game. But the difference is though too, they have Naheem Hines there, which is mostly the what I'm saying, the receiving specialist for the running back. But I agree with Jake. The line's just so much better with Indy than
It
is.
just breaks down to Indy's better than Tennessee. They're both kind of crappy, but I'll take the guy on the better team. I think
Indy-
they still win.
Indy isn't crappy.
I
If
think
you
they
have-
still win 8 games.
You're still bitter about Andrew Luck.
I'm just.
I
Gonna,
think they still win 8 games.
you are only saying this because Brissett's on your fantasy team.
No, I think
number one.
their defense is going to be okay. I think they have some good pieces on defense. Their offense, I don't think will be terrible. It won't be Andrew Luck level, but Jacoby Brissett, a whole season learning the system. He got thrown in that first year, and a line that will protect him. Like he should be able to keep them afloat.
He should, but he won't.
We'll see.
I'm going Derrick Henry just because of my Jacoby Brissett hate.
Why do you hate Jacoby Brissett? What did
Because
he
he's
do
a
to you?
loser. He
In what
ruined.
way?
He's going to ruin T.Y. Hilton's career for starters.
T.Y. who?
Just like he
Yeah,
did the last time
T.Y.
they
who?
played together. Exactly.
You know who
That's
be-
what his name's going to be now.
I don't like Ty.
you know who
anyways. It's
becomes?
fine.
You know who was the benefited the most with Brissett playing, right?
Nobody.
Oh, Doyle.
The
Oh,
other
Doyle
team-
I was going to
rules.
say Ebron.
No,
The
Doyle- Doyle
other
actually had a good
team's
season.
cornerback is going to benefit the most from Jacoby Brissett.
No, Doyle actually had a good season that year, but he was the only one that was fantasy
Ebron
relevant that
wasn't
year.
around. I could see Ebron
Yeah.
getting double-digit touchdowns again now.
AJ Green, who's going to miss how many games, John?
Probably 3 or 4. I say 4.
Yeah, at least 4.
Or Josh Gordon, who's going to miss who knows how many games?
Right now, he's
AJ
healthy.
Green.
AJ Green.
AJ Green.
I'm gonna take Josh Gordon.
I say AJ Green based on the fact that even in his bad years, he's missed a few games. He always produces at least like 1,000 to 1,200 yards receiving. He is the focal point of their offense. Even with Tyler Boyd there, he's still the number one. Josh Gordon had one big blow-up season. That's it.
He also
mean-
averaged
that's it.
more yards per catch last year with Tom Brady than anybody else had ever done.
He also has had the most suspensions and has gotten
Sure.
reinvited back every time.
But he's
I-
been invited back. That's the key. He's on the team and
because
he's
we
ready
don't
for
we
week
don't have
one.
the same rules for every player. For
Who
some
cares?
reason,
That
Goodell's
doesn't
got a
affect
soft
fantasy.
Gordon also only caught 4 touchdowns last year, and he also only had 2 games that were 100 or more yards. So it's not like he lit it up last year.
How many,
And
games
AJ
did he, how many
Green-
games did he play?
You know what's funny, Jake,
missed
is
3
I'm
games.
arguing
4
for
games.
Green,
He mi-
and you can ask DJ. I've always been
Hold
pro
on,
Gordon.
Let me answer Jake's question.
Go ahead.
He missed 4 games, Jake.
Okay.
So he played 12 games, big sample size.
I just don't see AJ Green getting healthy, to be honest. I just don't think I think this is gonna linger. It's his foot.
And I don't see Josh Gordon getting well. So, I mean, you're looking
Maybe.
at 2 equally volatile situations here. So I'm going to go with the guy that's better, I think, in terms of all around.
If they were gonna play the same
receptions,
amount of games,
touchdowns,
it's AJ
yeah.
Green, but I just don't think they play the same amount of games.
AJ may play more.
Maybe.
This might be the first year I actually don't bought it on Gordon.
Yeah. Well, probably
I'm
because
in
you've been
hard.
burned so many darn
Oh
times.
yeah, I know. So that's why I'm going with AJ Green.
Smoked you too many
AJ Green.
times.
AJ Green.
All right.
AJ Green.
Would you rather Nick Chubb or Dalvin Cook?
You're looking at me.
Anytime you hear this, people are thinking hard.
Yeah, and I want to know his answer.
Dalvin Cook.
Yep. Right there with you.
Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
Right there with you.
He has more upside for. I think he has a better chance of catching more balls with Minnesota than Chubb does with Cleveland. And that's not saying Chubb can't catch. I just think he has a better chance of catching more balls. And as long as Cook stays healthy, he looked amazing in that preseason game.
There's a guy named Kareem Hunt just lingering,
Yeah.
Kareem,
which
who?
I don't want to be part of.
But,
Kareem-
but guys, we talk about
Kareem is actually bye-bye. So news did get announced on that I forgot to go into. I think I went into the last episode. Kareem Hunt is having sports hernia surgery, that's not the problem. While he is suspended, he is not allowed to be with the team, so he cannot even be with the team for 8 weeks.
Who cares?
Yeah.
He'll be
That's
back.
big. That's huge. You won't know the playbook, nothing.
He can't. He can still have the playbook at home.
Maybe he'll trap for kicker.
I don't know. So anyway, valid point.
Dalvin Cook.
Jake, that was a minute of my life I'll never get back.
You're lucky you won't get it back.
I would say yes, Dalvin Cook, but guys, we've been talking about injuries, so obviously Chubb more durable. Does that factor into play?
That knee looks just fine for Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Just fine.
I think
Anybody
I
can get
definitely
hurt
think
at this point.
I think it's Cook too, but just trying to play devil's advocate there. All right, this one I've got ulterior motives for.
Oh God. I already. This is going to be about your team, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh,
Sean
okay.
Jackson.
It's going to be about somebody else's team. Deshaun Watson and Emmanuel Sanders, or Cam Newton and Brandon Cooks.
Cam Newton, Brandon Cooks.
Cam Newton, Brandon Cooks.
And you guys didn't even think about it.
Nope.
Emmanuel Sanders is that bad that you don't even think
Do you
about
guys
it.
know why I asked that question?
I have no idea.
I asked that question because I want to illustrate to our listeners why you do not go early on quarterbacks. So we have a guy in our league who fell in love, and in fantasy football, you never fall in love. That's one of the rules, the unwritten rules. He fell in love with Deshaun Watson. This guy had the 2nd overall pick in our keeper league draft. Now Deshaun was not kept. After 4 keepers, he was part of the pool of players that were not kept. But the biggest need on this guy's team was receiver. And he picked Deshaun Watson, and then you guys know in a 12-team league, he had a pretty big wait after that until his next selection. So now he also drafted Cam Newton in addition to Deshaun Watson, which makes absolutely no sense at all. So he could have gotten Cam Newton and Brandon Cooks, but now he's dealing with Deshaun Watson and Emmanuel Sanders because he fell in love with a quarterback and went too early on him.
Sorry, listeners. I was looking at the board, which is still
It is
up.
still up, yeah.
But is Deshaun Watson, Christian Kirk such a big, quick decision compared to Cam Newton, Brandon Cooks? Because he has Christian Kirk too, right?
Because Christian Kirk is not.
Yes,
he's only been running on 40% of the snaps right now. Larry Fitzgerald's way ahead of him right now. He really is.
What?
So I'll tip my hat to you, even though you never give me credit. I'll give you credit for that one. But in all seriousness, so if you were to switch Emmanuel with Kirk, I would say I'd rather have Emmanuel Sanders over Kirk, to be perfectly frank with you. Because he knows the playbook. He's a big part of that offense.
I just knew this table had some Christian Kirk love.
Emmanuel Sanders, considering
I do, Jake, but I have to think realistically on who is going to factor in more to the offense. And right now it's Fitzgerald.
I'm still on Cam Newton, Brandon Cook, so don't think I'm swapping.
But I'm just trying to explain to the listeners, this is why, and you guys are probably all drafted at this point, but you don't get all excited about a quarterback that early.
I will say,
especially when you can get Cam Newton later on.
We're Monday morning quarterbacking right now. I wish I had gone one of the early quarterbacks over Lamar Miller. Like, that's just how it works out sometimes.
That's an injury related.
I know,
thing.
but that's
you can't compare the two.
What's more likely, Deshaun Watson plays the whole year or a 6th round running back plays the whole year? It might be Deshaun Watson.
It could be, but then you're still without a running back at that spot. So who's your next guy down? You know what I mean? So it's that's definitely armchair.
I'm a late round quarterback guy anyway, so that's my strategy. But I can now understand a little bit why
I do not
take the safer quarterback.
And I think when you draft emotionally like that, you put yourself. Now, if you look at this guy's whole team, and you guys can at any time. It's not great. It's not deep. And a big part of that is because, I'm going to go all in on Deshaun Watson, but sacrifice at other positions. And now I have to start Emmanuel Sanders week 1. That's a guy that you're not even comfortable starting as your flex.
Yeah, but
on a bye week fill.
Okay,
am I right?
I'm not sticking up for Watson at this point. Watson is going to be a top quarterback there. We think,
of course,
projected.
I think he's going to be the number 1 overall.
But we also know that Newton was a number 1 quarterback overall. Still has that caliber left in him, possibly.
So here's the other thing. So if you drafted Deshaun Watson and you got Cam Newton, why didn't you draft a running back where you got Cam Newton? Why do you even need Cam Newton that early when you already have Deshaun Watson? That's just bad drafting, guys. It's all it boils down to.
Trade me Cam Newton?
Roster construction. That's what it's all about. And yes, if this guy's smart, he would trade Cam Newton. But who's going to trade for a quarterback? Not me.
Nobody really.
I got unlucky with Andrew Luck. So.
I mean, I got Mitchell Trubisky, and I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? I love Lamar Jackson. So I guess if you love Cam Newton, you could rationalize it, but otherwise I don't see it.
All right. We spent too much time on that.
It's a lesson learned, though. Hopefully people learn that lesson. So next, Mike Evans or Juju Smith-Schuster?
Juju.
Yes, Juju.
Standard Mike Evans, PPR Juju.
Juju.
Easy.
Johnny, I think Mike Evans has more yards.
You ever hear Belichick, Seattle? I'm going Juju.
I think it was Cincinnati.
I like them both, though. I'm happy to have either.
No, okay, so
Belichick's a clown.
Let's be frankly honest. Tampa Bay, Evans 1, Godwin 2, right?
Sure. Yes, and Godwin will eat, and even Evans says Godwin's going to eat into his production.
And he's not coming off the field either.
No.
From what I'm reading, either one are going to come off the field. Sorry, I'm not. Juju is the clear-cut number 1. Yeah. Who is the clear-cut number 2 with the Pittsburgh?
With the Pittsburgh? Or?
With Pittsburgh. With Pittsburgh. With Pittsburgh, I said.
You said, you did? Because we can rewind that.
I love
with Pittsburgh.
I love Pittsburgh.
All right, listeners, help me out.
Juju also is now facing the number 1 guy, and he's going to be doubled a lot. Mike Evans, you're right, has Chris Godwin, and it's going to spread the coverage out. Yeah. I think Juju in PPR has more receptions. I think in standard, Mike Evans gets more yards, and potentially scores more touchdowns.
So you're telling me Connor's not going to take any pressure off of Juju? Vance McDonald's not going to take any pressure?
Not in the passing game, no.
So these guys last year were flukes. I guess Connor was a fluke last year.
I think Antonio Brown was around, right? Antonio Brown, who caught like 15 touchdowns.
Wait a minute. Where was Antonio Brown when he missed those last 2 games?
Taking coverage
Juju
away?
Was going off.
Don't tell me Juju is not going to see harder coverage.
Did Juju go off with Antonio Brown?
Yes,
did he go off? Yes.
Yes, that's
So-
correct.
Right.
He actually had just as many
I
targets.
believe Antonio Brown missed like 2 or 3 games at the end of the season last year, and Juju was still going off. But these magical Mighty Morphin dwarves were coming out and covering Juju in the double coverage.
Where are we going
I don't
right
even know what he's
now?
talking about
Are
anymore.
you sure you didn't go to the dentist today?
I'm still
and get
gonna
some sort of injection?
stand by Juju on this. I think he's just the better talent. He is the number one.
Obviously, it's Juju. I'm just enjoying this.
Oh, sorry. I had to make my point. I'm sorry.
Something about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Mighty Morphin dwarves, I said.
Is that?
It's
okay.
not even a real thing.
Let's go to the next one. You guys ready for this? Hopefully, this isn't as impassioned. Royce Freeman or Justice Hill?
Justice Hill, I guess. I guess.
You only don't like Justice Hill because he's going to be the next guy that I'm right about.
I just don't think either of them have a ton of value this year.
I actually think Justice Hill by a country mile. It's not even close. Justice Hill will be a huge factor of that offense this year, and I'm banking on that.
Have
you
you
guys can bank on that too.
No, I agree with you on the Justice Hill thing. Watching a couple of his preseason
But
games.
Freeman is under the radar right
No,
now. And
Freeman.
that's why I threw him out.
Freeman
there.
is under the radar, but the difference is
Don't
Flacco.
cheat. Stop cheating.
Flacco-
Jake. Look like
Flacco is the quarterback
Like Pat
for
over
Denver. I'm not saying teams don't respect Flacco, but the thing is about Lamar Jackson, they can option their
teams don't respect Flacco. It's okay. You can say
Okay,
it.
they don't respect
All
Flacco.
right, there we go.
Teams are
Let's
going
get it
to
all- let's get it all
teams are going
out
to respect
there.
Lamar Jackson no matter what because he's a dual threat now.
Well, that's arguable as
No.
well.
Their respect is running.
Yeah, I don't know if he's dual
It's still going to
threat.
it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Let's say
His
he,
arm moves
let-
in a throwing motion and releases the ball.
let's say he rolls out to the left, Justice Hill's in the flats, a little small dump pass. I still like Justice Hill. From what I've seen, he's all over the place during the preseason.
And he's proven to carry the load. Like his numbers in college were ridiculous. So yeah, I agree.
Why
with
do you
on
say
that
the
one.
Royals' voice?
I didn't.
Oh, I
did.
I said Justice Hill.
Oh, okay.
He's just laughing.
But
at
let's
you.
just picture Joe Flacco rolls out right,
And
and,
he gets
Royce
creamed.
Freeman is in the flat, and he passes it to him.
Flacco's gonna make it
I'm just saying.
to the rollout.
We
He won't
pictured
even roll
Lamar
out.
Jackson rolling left.
Wait,
and
don't
throwing
forget that
throwing a
Philip
dump
Lindsay's
out.
the receiving back there
I'm
with
just
all
saying.
30 of
Yeah.
his receptions.
We were just talking about a scenario where
I don't know.
Flacco-
I just think
Is there a gas leak in here?
no
Maybe.
Lamar Jackson.
All right.
I know I wasn't high on him at the beginning. After watching a few preseason games, he is warming up pretty good.
So we're going Justice Hill though.
Yes.
All right. Next up, guys, Miles Sanders or Jake's guy, Tevin Coleman.
Oh well, I think it's Miles Sanders.
Yes, it's
He has the
definitely
clear.
Miles
He has the
Sanders.
clear cut
Well,
opportunity.
you were just touting Tevin Coleman as this fantasy god.
No, I did not. Rewind the tape. I did not. I just said I think he'll have
The
A
tape.
share.
somewhat of a
A share.
timeshare.
You did say a
with
timeshare.
Breida. I used the word timeshare, didn't I?
So is that
I thought you said like the next Todd Gurley or
No,
something like
no,
that.
no.
Not
Did
true.
you think that? I don't know.
No, Miles Sanders might be.
Miles
though.
Sanders probably doesn't have as much of a timeshare, though. He probably has more of an opportunity.
Yeah, initially, I think I might argue that Coleman initially will be the more valuable fantasy asset to own than Sanders. But again, you got to have foresight in these situations. That's why I love Justice Hill so much, because I think that triple beam balance will shift in the other direction as the season goes on. Definitely Miles Sanders there, John.
I think it'll start off with Coleman at first, and then it will shift. Especially Smallwood being released today. I think Sanders.
Finally.
Yeah, it's only taken how many years? I know Peterson is very heavy on running back by committees, but Sanders just been the better option through practices and preseason so far. I think he'll emerge as the season goes on. So I just think it's going to start off as a Coleman show. And then I shouldn't say Coleman show, but he'll have the better beginning half better, and then Sanders will actually get better.
All right, let's move to Green Bay. Who is it going to be? I'm going to revisit this one now that we've got a little bit more information. Who's the number 2? Is it Geronimo Allison or Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
To be determined. Like we still don't know. I still don't know.
I think it's Scantling. I'm leaning towards Scantling.
Geronimo Allison's going to be in the slot.
He
Like,
will,
I think that part's been determined.
but I think if you look at how things are going through preseason, Scantling has really developed a good chemistry with Rodgers. And I think he is. The other thing I like about Scantling is he's more of a fit for the Adams role. So if something were to happen to Adams, I think would even leapfrog Allison if Allison were even ahead of him. It's really close though. It is still a kind of.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers has played in the preseason, has he?
Like a couple series.
No, but in like
that's it.
camp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Throughout the preseason, throughout camp, he has developed a good chemistry, and Allison has a good chemistry with him as well. But I just think it's one of those cream rises to the top scenarios. I think Scantling is a better player, and I think he's definitely going to become the number 2 this year. But I think it's going to be very, very close. John, who are you taking on that?
Based on what I've seen so far, Scantling, MVS's route running looks just crisper. I mean, I know they're playing different positions, but MVS just looks ready this year. I think this could be his breakout year, especially with Equanimeous St. Brown.
Nice
Just went to
job,
IR.
John. There we go. Well done.
Can you see that 3 times?
Nope.
He can't even
I
see
mean,
it.
he's no Larry Tunsil, but
Well,
he's still.
yeah, but Jake has a hard time saying Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Can you
That's
say
right.
it, Jake?
MVS.
MVS. Just say MVS.
MVS.
That doesn't count. All right, I'm going to throw one more out there for fun, just for Jake.
Oh no. Oh no.
Tom Brady or Jacoby Brissett?
Fantasy?
Yeah.
Wow. That one's tricky. I think New England has a
How
really
sad is it?
I think New England has a really strong run game this year.
I agree with you. I think they're a running team now. I think they proved that last
And I
year.
think Jacoby Brissett could be sneaky good. The tight end situation there is good. And quarterbacks who generally aren't considered great lean into tight ends. And those two guys are pretty good receiving tight ends. He's got a good receiver in T.Y. Hilton.
I think it's
I
Tom,
think
I think it's Brady because Brady's going to have more 30-point games. I don't think you'll ever see Brissett with a 30-point
No,
game.
I
Yeah,
think
but how many of those are rushing touchdowns?
no.
Do you mean for the
who?
team? 30
no,
point games or
I'm
for the
in terms
player?
of fantasy
a 30-point
points.
week. I think it's Brady because of this sole reason. Brissett's going to make more turnovers, which he's going to lose points on. Brady will make less turnovers than Brissett.
But I think Brissett could rush for some yards and some touchdowns too.
Not as
Compared to
high as-
Brady.
Brady's not going to rush.
He's gonna run for
Brady,
nothing.
Brady rushes for 4 or 5 touchdowns a year. All he does is stretch
QB
his arms
sneak,
out,
yeah.
and technically it's a rushing touchdown.
So
It's Brady. Come on. Don't be ridiculous. Lightning round. You guys ready to fire it up in the lightning round?
I love the lightning round.
So we're going to go a little different.
NWO?
I don't have a huge lightning round today, but if you guys want to throw some stuff out there at the end, I'm game.
Okay.
So we're going to start with Simpsons or Family Guy?
Family Guy's my era. Sorry.
I grew up on The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's just the era.
How dare you? How dare
the
you?
era.
So disrespectful.
It's just the era,
How
man. That's what
dare
I
you.
watched.
I'm sorry, but I grew up with, as Nigel would say, I'm like Krusty the Clown.
That was pretty good. Mine was better. Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks?
Dunkin' Donuts.
I like Starbucks better.
My pocket hurts. We're just saying the word Starbucks.
No,
I'm just throwing a name into the ballot. I'm going to Roma Joe's.
You can't give us 2 options and then go off the script.
Represent.
Starbucks has more of a bang to it, I think. It has just
Yeah.
more caffeine
All right,
takes.
your wallet.
this is an easy one. Dairy Queen or Baskin Robbins?
Dairy Queen.
I don't even know if there's a Baskin Robbins around here.
Does there have to be?
They have 31 flavors.
How can I compare?
Is it 31 or 57? Or that's
31.
ketchup. Sorry.
I like dairy. I'll take a Blizzard any day.
Yeah, you were rocking the Blizzard a couple weeks ago. So this one I think is easy. Summer or fall?
Summer.
It's fall. What's
Football,
wrong with
football,
you, Jake?
baby.
You are on a fantasy football podcast. Need I
But
remind
I like to ride my
you.
motorcycle a lot. So
You can do that in the fall too. AFC or NFC? Which is better? Which is more
AFC.
talented?
Oh, which more talented?
Yes.
Okay,
N-
NFC.
NFC.
It is
NFC.
the NFC for sure. There's one good team in the AFC. Spider-Man or Batman? I went a little different on that one.
Batman. The Dark Knight movies are so good.
You really put me in a bind.
I gotta go Batman because
you.
Batman never got kicked off of DC movies, but Spider-Man just got kicked off the Marvel
Oh.
Cinematic Universe.
And Batman's just like a normal dude. He just goes out and takes care of business.
Spider-Man's a normal.
He got
kid.
bit by a
So,
spider.
okay, I like Batman.
a radioactive.
But question for
spider.
you. Question for you. Who played the best Batman for an actor?
Christian Bale.
It's obviously Michael Keaton.
Next.
Jake, do you even know who Michael?
Next.
Who actually also played a bomb vulture too in the Spider-Man movie?
I
so.
actually like Christian Bale better than Michael Keaton.
Thank you.
The worst was Val Kilmer. He killed
Val
that.
Kilmer's better than Christian Bale.
No, Christian Bale.
The worst is George Clooney.
Clooney was pretty bad. I'll give you that. Clooney was pretty bad, but Val Kilmer wasn't that great either.
The best Batman is actually Kevin Conroy in the animated movies. Just throwing that out there. Nike or Converse?
Nike.
I like both, but I actually own a lot of shoes, a lot of sneakers. A lot of people don't realize that. I do own more Nike than Converse, though. So
If we're talking what we own the most, I got a lot more Jordans than I do anything else.
Star Wars or Star Trek? This is easy.
Wars.
Yes,
Star
it is
Wars.
Star
Yeah.
Wars for sure. Even the trash Last Jedi.
Who doesn't like the Wookiee? Come on,
take it all.
Chewbacca.
Can you? Do,
Oh,
you're
God.
really good at that.
Oh, man. What
It's
are
a
we doing?
talent. I'm sorry.
What are we doing?
NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys?
Ooh. Which one sings that song, Bye, Bye,
I
Bye?
don't know.
Because that's the group I picked. Because I know that one
isn't that
song.
Britney Spears.
No.
I'm gonna say NSYNC because Justin Timberlake broke off on his own, became popular. So nobody did from Backstreet Boys.
Sure.
Oh, Timberlake's in NSYNC?
Apparently,
Yeah.
yes. We have an
Okay.
NSYNC
I'm rolling.
aficionado over.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm rolling with NSYNC, I guess, because Timberlake's pretty cool. Vanilla Ice or MC Hammer? Jake's like, who?
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Vanilla Ice. It's,
MC Hammer had the parachute
it's
pants,
Rob
right?
Van Winkle.
Word
all
to your
day
mother.
long. Yeah, he
Okay.
did.
The parachute pants were pretty cool.
I might slap you guys if you pick the wrong one here. Seinfeld or Friends?
Seinfeld.
I
These pretzels are making me making me thirsty.
They're kind of like different show like genres, I guess. Like
Think we
Seinfeld's
just pick one.
funnier than Friends, but
All right, so Seinfeld.
I like Friends too, though.
And I have
Will
issues.
you pick one? I mean, is it...
I would rather watch episodes of Friends.
Oh God,
Sorry.
it's Seinfeld. That's not even close. I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself. How dare you again?
You can't double dip a chip.
How dare you?
I'll double dip all I want.
Domestic beer or craft beer?
There are some really crappy craft beers too, though.
There are. Yeah.
So, do I get the choice of the craft beer, or do I just have to
You
take
just
a
get
random
blanket
craft?
statement.
I know domestics are crappy, but at least I know what I'm getting. Craft are really bad sometimes.
If it's a real hot day, it's a domestic, or if you want to pound some, it's a domestic.
Right.
But the enjoyment, my palate
Craft beer then.
goes
Yeah,
for
sure.
craft.
What's your favorite craft beer?
It's Space Ghost from Barreled Souls.
Never tried it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I like that Pete's
salty
Organic
sour.
Happy Hour. That was pretty good too.
I haven't tried
What,
that.
what did I kept getting the bourbon ale?
Oh.
I don't know.
It was good.
Skittles or Twizzlers?
Skittles.
Twizzlers.
What is wrong with you people?
This is why our fantasy team gets along so good.
Yeah, I guess so, because you guys are eating Twizzlers like weirdos.
Sounds like is somebody storming the house? Like there's a lot of chatter going on in the background.
Is there going to be
I
a
don't know who
special
these
guest
people
that I
are.
don't know about?
I don't know. Is
They're
Randy
trying
back?
to get the Death Star.
This one's easy. DJ's Keeper League team or Jake's Keeper League team?
I guess we'll wait and find out.
Oh no!
I guess we'll wait and
You
find
got
out.
it. Come on, it's okay, man.
I
Sorry,
like my own
Okay.
team. I like my team.
I'm
It's
gonna.
not
a
bad.
lot.
All right, John, you're impartial.
I am gonna be impartial here. I'm gonna take the number 1 ranked team over the number
yeah.
17.
By
The
some
only one with
random
a score of
website.
100, by the way. Random website.
He rigged it so
It's the
that
most
he get a
reputable.
100.
It's the most reputable fantasy website on the planet, and no, I'm not going to plug them.
He rigged it. He's the one who came up with the rankings.
Do we want to pull it up and just have the listeners decide?
I liked where I was. I don't want to go back up. I was at 4th. I'll keep that right now. Do not pull it back up and make
It's
it down.
obviously DJ's fantasy team. Come
We'll
on.
find out. There's
We
a
will
whole
find
season to
out.
determine that.
You're already running scared with your horrible Andrew Luck pick and your horrible Lamar Miller pick.
Licorice Lamar.
You could not have
First of
told
all, you
me
went with
Andrew Luck
Licorice Lamar.
as my 4th running back.
Yes, and
That
Andrew
was
Luck,
good.
who thought your team sucked so bad he retired.
That's not my fault. Andrew Luck.
Can I say
retired.
sucked? I don't know.
Well, you did already. I still have Dak Prescott. I still have a top 10 quarterback. I'm not too upset. And I have Sam Darnold, who I really
Jacoby
like.
Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett's just a backup plan in case things go really south.
Beef and a
Who are
percent.
your running backs?
Joe Mixon, Philip Lindsay, and James White.
My RB3 is better than your RB. My
Who's your
RB4
RB3?
is better than your RB2.
Who's 3?
My RB3 is Josh Jacobs.
Who's a rookie and we haven't seen do
My
anything?
RB4 is Matt Breida.
Who's in a timeshare with Tevin Coleman? So
And
But he's a
Phillip
burrito.
Lindsay's in a timeshare with Royce Freeman.
maybe.
On a trash team. You guys got anything off the top of your head? Come on, let's get fun here. Let's have some would you rathers. Come on, John.
Biggie or no? We already did
We
Biggie
already
or
did
Chewbacca.
that one.
Off the top of my head.
Putting you on the spot.
This is not good.
you're-
I'm trying to think off. You go, Jake, first.
Yeah.
Can you think of any off the top of your
Put the
head?
pressure on you. I just came up with 30 of these things,
Oh,
guys.
that's your job.
It's not my job.
Burritos or tacos?
Oh, it's burritos, dude. I mean, it's Matt Burrito.
Sorry, I
all
like
day.
tacos better.
Tacos,
I'm
yeah.
a Taco
thank
Tuesday
you.
guy.
Yeah.
Matt Burrito's
We can't say Taco Tuesday.
French
I think
fries.
LeBron has that.
French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
French fries. Onion
Okay.
rings are just nasty.
Tater tots or onion rings?
Onion rings are nasty. I'll take the other
Well,
option
you probably
every
don't
time.
like onion rings. Fried Twinkies or fried Oreos?
I've never had a fried Twinkie, but Oreos are.
Oh, they're so good.
So good.
They're so good.
I was gonna curse,
neither.
but I held myself.
Neither.
No, like I'm not big on sweets, but a fried Oreo is life changing.
so
It's
good.
very life changing.
You don't feel good after, but that's not the point.
You don't feel good after, but it tastes so good
So
going down.
good. DJ looks so disgusted by
okay,
us.
Is that everything?
if you had to go for a swim, ocean water or lake water?
I mean, I grew up on the ocean, dude. Old Orchard Beach represent.
I like lake water
Yeah,
better.
I don't want my eyes to burn from the salt.
Your eyes don't burn.
These eyes burn.
These eyes.
Lakes are so slimy, and
Just the way
No,
I like it.
actually, every time I went,
you don't have to worry about sharks in the lake though, so that's a plus.
Yes, that's one thing, and the other part is every time I've gone swimming in the ocean, I come out like Swamp Thing. I got like 20 pounds of seaweed hang off me for some reason. I must have picked the worst tide times.
All right, you guys ready to do some prep for this next show? We got to do some
What's the
heavy
next
duty
one?
prep, dude.
What's the next episode?
We're previewing week 1.
Oh,
Come on, guys, where you been?
Oh.
Just in case you were
I haven't
wondering, the
been here.
NFL season starts this week.
I get that whole weekend off. I gotta get prepped just to sit and watch football.
So, yeah,
for
we're gonna-
an entire day.
We're gonna project week 1 on our next episode, so you guys better do some prep because there's gonna be a lot going on in that episode, and it might be a long one, just in case you guys were wondering it. We might push it to the limit, as the '80s song says. But this one,
I don't know. Will we break our record?
Push it to the limit.
No, we will not break
No,
our record.
we can't
I will
break our
put my
record because
hand
we
down,
couldn't even
my fist
post
down.
that episode. I still have it saved. There is a 2.5 hour Armchair Fantasy Football episode that I have saved. That will never be
It will
released.
just-
We
die.
we call it the uncut SpongeBob version because 3 days
do?
later. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding because of the 3 days later thing.
What happened to you today?
Nothing. This is what happens when you get no sleep.
They
You
made
had the
it-
day off.
I think they should make
I
you go to
went
work.
to New Hampshire. I drove down.
If they keep you at work, it keeps you on the straight and narrow.
I think so.
Yeah,
The stress does
these,
it.
And
these
off the
free
drugs.
days. These free days.
Have you
just-
been?
3 days later.
Was Josh Gordon in New Hampshire too, by chance? Were you guys?
You
hanging
never
out?
know. Might have been hanging out in the same Scooby Doo van.
Oh my God! So anyway, guys, we're going to preview or predict or project, I guess.
Actually, I like that. Actually, we'll do our predictions.
Oh, I'm glad that you liked the idea that I had, John.
No.
That every other fantasy football podcast is doing.
No,
for
I'm
week
saying we
1.
should do predictions as well. What do we think?
We could do
Yeah.
predictions.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but we're definitely gonna do projections. And if we
What's-
have time, we'll do predictions. Sorry, it's contagious.
What is happening?
I don't
Projections, predictions, all the same. Potato,
know. I
potato.
think we should end this episode.
Let's end it now.
Yeah, let's.
All right, guys, this has been fun. We'll see you next time where we project and potentially predict week 1 if there is time. We appreciate you guys listening to the Armchair Fantasy Football Podcast, the Working Class Podcast, the Blue Collar Ballers, and we'll see you next time.
Go subscribe.
My team's better than Jake's.
Oh, I just wanted to say one last thing. We are so close to 500 followers. So please love, like, listen, and share. And thank you guys. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Armchair Fantasy Football Podcast. Thanks for supporting the show. Until next time.